Okay, we're back and going right to the phones here. Let's see. Yeah, we don't do doctrinal issues, and so I asked Steve Height to talk to Rebecca. She had a good question. All right. Okay, let's see. In Indianapolis, Todd, speak your mind.
Yeah, hi, Bob.
Howdy.
Good. How are you?
Doing real well.
Good. Well, I had a question about government and what we should submit to concerning our government and what we should not submit to.
Right.
I know that in Romans chapter 13, it says that the higher powers...
Well, yeah, let's just talk about the principles generally.
Well, I mean, first of all, we've got to obey God first.
Well, right, of course. And you submit to the government whenever possible. Or,
Okay.
you know, for example, if the government tells you, take up a gun and go kill Jews, and the government is the socialists who are running Germany,
Yeah.
right? When their socialist government took over.
Sure.
And so you say, no, that's wrong, I won't do that.
Right.
If the government says to you, you're not allowed to discipline your children or teach them about God, or that homosexuality is wrong, that's a hate crime, then you disobey the government.
Okay.
Because you don't follow the government to do something that's wrong. But otherwise, you generally obey the government. Now, I say generally because modern governments become so onerous. The Bible says, fathers, do not provoke your children. In other words, don't make rules for your kids that are so difficult the kids can't obey them. And then they disobey them, and then you punish them. And there's many other ways to provoke your kids. Don't do that. That's wrong. It's bad to do. Well, our government provokes us because they pass so many laws that you can't know all the laws, even if you hire 10 lawyers to follow you every day, every moment. And each was an expert in a different area of law, you still would be breaking laws.
And I guess that's what kind of is the crux of my question is, you know, I know that we should obey God first, but our government is doing so many things that we don't even know about. They're spending our tax dollars
all
in
kinds
ways that we don't want them to, and in many ways that we have no idea that they're even using the money for some things that...
Sean, let me tell you a story. My friend Greg Perry and I were sitting in a vehicle on Ironwood Road in South Bend, Indiana, at, I forget, Lincoln Way or something. It's right after a railroad crossing. And, Todd, I'm sorry. Todd.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, Sean's from St. Bernard, Louisiana. And Todd, we're sitting at this it's a red light, and it's like 3 in the morning, and the light takes forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait till the earth burns with a fervent heat. I'm going to watch that light burn. Anyway, we're sitting there for like 2 minutes waiting for nothing. There's no life at all in South Bend at that time.
Right.
And this big pickup truck on big wheels, high up in the air, comes up behind us, slows down a little, pulls over on the shoulder, and goes right through the light. And I say, wow. And Greg Perry looks at me and says, there goes a great American.
Should we go or shouldn't we?
And that saying has changed my life because it's true. Our government is provoking its children because it passes so many arbitrary and absurd rules. You can't keep them all. No matter how hard you try, you fail. Everybody speeds every day because you have to. You can't obey the law. If you drive the speed limit in some places, people will shoot you.
You get run over.
Yeah, you'll be killed. The cop will give you a ticket because he's mad at you.
That's right. That's right.
So I have a friend who drove down in Denver from the foothills up where we used to live in Kittredge, and along like 11-mile windy mountain road, and he was going down normal, like 30, 40 miles an hour, and the cops followed him the whole way. And at the end, he stopped them, and my friend's name is Art, and his wife Alice was in the car. And he said, "Sir, you were speeding through the whole the whole way. And Art said, "Officer, that speed limit is wrong." and he was right. It's wrong. So anyway, we need to use common sense and the principles of truth to determine, and God is a good source of finding out what's true or not.
I agree.
And finding out which laws are bad and are wrong to obey, which laws we should obey, and which laws are optional.
And if those laws are wrong, we need to disobey them and stand up
if there are
for the
wrong
laws of God.
Right. If there are wrong laws, we need to disobey them.
Okay.
Just like if the U.S. federal government, the Supreme Court, said it's legal to own blacks as private property, as cattle, in the Dred Scott decision, 1850s. So some Christians, not the liberals, but the Christian conservatives, disobeyed the governing authorities and helped the Underground Railroad smuggle blacks to freedom. They were heroes for disobeying the government.
Yes.
All right?
Okay.